Hello, good evening. It's Friday night. Remember when we used to get all dressed up and do our hair and makeup and lipstick and nails and put on pretty shoes to go out dancing on Friday nights? That was fun. And wouldn't leave the house till 8:30 or 9 o'clock. And your parents would tell you, be home. Be home by curfew. Give you the keys to their car. Give you a little bit of money to go out and spend. Yeah, go roller skating. Yes, now I sit in my recliner too. Oh, me. Well, hello, Rodney. First day on Periscope. Welcome, welcome. Yeah, it was fun. Remember Aquanet? Jeez. And the pump. Always want to have on a nice pair of jeans or a pretty dress. I'm still that way. I want a nice, pretty dress. Dresses are so much cooler than pants, especially jeans. What is that? Little better? Guess not. Guess you're not so far off, Chichi train. Like to think you're hotter than you are. Oh, I got a fan. How about that? Bye-bye, fan. Like the bouncers at the club door. I want to see your ID. I don't care. Go away. You see, somebody likes to have a shit show, so let them have a shit show. If that's what people like, go to their shit show. Because, I'd much rather talk about other things. Yep. Or send a big dog after them. That would be funny. It wouldn't be surprising to me if they were even showing mine live. That's okay. But I mean, that's how rumors get started. People say something out of hate, jealousy, and they repeat it, and it just spills over, and it just runs over like a hot wax candle, and then everybody's got to get a light off of it, and it just keeps growing and growing until it's all over your table. Then you got a hot mess all over the table. So, I don't know. I don't understand why anybody would want to live like that and have that constant shit show scope like that all the time. You know, he said he came to a truce with me, and yet it's not a truce. I knew it all along it wasn't going to last. And I told him then in Dr. Bud's scope that he pits people against each other. Oh, no, I'm wrong. No, I'm not wrong, Don. I'm not wrong. That's how it is. So, it's terrible to say things like that. You know what they said about me? Said that I killed my ex-husbands. My God. Is that the lowest of low? You know, that's just downright bullying. Sick. And I'm just gonna say their offspring learns from them. No wonder we have school shootings, mass shootings. They bring up people bringing up children like this. And I have to say, not all parents make their children like this, but they do learn from their parents. I don't know whether he has children or not. But should he ever have kids? Welcome, Dre. Should he ever have kids? I just hope that he'd be a better parent. You know, my father and grandmother and my mother, all the older people, you know, had big families. Oh yeah, I know, Dree, I know. And that's terrible. They got somebody in there with my face on profiles and stuff. It's just sick. And they trying to scare you is what they do. Oh, let me be big and put their picture on something and get a fake name and I'll go in there. Well, that just shows the mentality from which it comes. But back to the old people, you know, they tell you things of wisdom and hoping to pass it along so that, you know, you learn from their experience. But there's a saying, dumb people don't learn from their mistakes. Smart people learn from their mistakes and try to never do it again. But highly intelligent people learn from those others' mistakes. You see what I'm saying? When the smart people learn from other people's mistakes. But dumb people don't learn from their own mistakes. And to get on here and say things like that, karma's just going to come back on you. You've got to have a troubled life to act like that to start with. And I don't blame her for taking up for herself. I don't blame anybody for taking up for theirself at all. Can I throw you a rope, Dree? I tried to find you earlier today. You know, I got my Chichi back. And they never did throw me off Twitter. They just threw me off Periscope. But I'm very happy to have it back. I don't know how long I'll have it, but it's all good. And at this point, I would put my own picture up, but I mean, you know, they already have it, so why put it up? I mean, it's not like I haven't showed my face before. But it's not flattering on a Friday night for me to scope without my face on, so I won't be doing that tonight. But I just want us to have friends and be able to get along and discuss things. And when I go to town and I go along the beach, I'd be happy to scope and show the Gulf Coast and areas. Well, I love your voice too, Dree. Thank you. Do tell how I got owned in Don Lod Scope. Well, thank you, Out of Food. I would really love to know the method of your madness that I got owned in Don Lod Scope. You mean because I got bullied? I was owned? No, baby, that's not what being owned is. It's not at all. Well, a friend, humble bee, is those that humble pie. I'm sorry, I read that wrong. Um, is those that have your back no matter what. That's what true friends are. And once you tell your friends something, they don't go around telling the next person that comes within tickling in their ear. You know, that's what a true friend is. I have a lifelong friend who's very dear to me. She's taking care of someone else's mom who's 91, and she feeds her and bathes her and takes care of her and talks to her and pets her head and tells her that she loves her and sings songs to her. I have one of the sweetest friends. And she and I are able to talk to one another, and it goes no further than me and her. That's what real friends are. That you don't have to worry about someone stabbing you in the back. And so, like, to anybody that you don't want repeated 1,000 times. And when she started at school, I told her that. And I said, and when you see a pack of girls gather up in the play yard together, I said, go to the swing set, go to the turnstile, go to something, but don't be in that group. And if you happen to be around a bunch of girls talking about someone else, walk away. Just walk away. Because whatever they have to say about someone else is not good. And whether you know about whatever they had to say, it doesn't matter. Don't feed into it. You go play or you go read your book or do something constructive, because and that's the way I raised her. And I said, I better not never hear you talking about ugly about somebody either. So that's the way to raise children. Teach them to be honest. Teach them to be sensible and do chores and be accounted for what you do. And so that people can see who you are, that you can be trusted, and it'll last with you for a lifetime. She's writing her dissertation and teaching, and she's a brilliant young lady who does very good things for her friends, and her friends. Growing up, I had to tell her, this one is not so good, baby. You're going down the wrong path. I said, now whether you stay friends with her or not, that's up to you, but I can tell you it's up to no good. And she sees it today. She says, Mommy, you called it right. Those people from high school got nowhere. And those people you told me not to hang out with got nowhere. And what I mean by nowhere, I mean their life is not accomplishing much. And I mean, there's people for every job. I mean, every job. Do your job, whatever job it is. That's what I tell them during prayer meeting here at my house. It doesn't matter what job you have, just as long as you do it to the best that you're able and that you're trained. And that's how you want to be. That's how you move up in your job. You do your job right and don't steal, and you treat the customers and things, that you just treat them like they're your number one top priority, and your employer will see it and you'll move up. We got to share the love, people, because I tell you, if you haven't noticed already, America is divided, and it's divided in its worst way, and we got to put it back together again. Same thing here on Scope. It's got to be put back together again. Humpty Dumpty's done fell off the wall. If we don't put it back together again and help one another, then we won't have anything left. I saw that England, or the UK, has divided itself from the EU, and I think that's a sad day. Very sad. After half a century, Europe and the UK is divided. And that's not good, folks, because we need one another. We're slowly losing our allies, and it's not good. The years that it took to build it and put it together and stop the Cold War and everything, We're just losing our allies. And it's sad. And we really shouldn't be fighting other people who believe in God, because believing in God is what's going to hold us together. And just because they have another name for God, we have other names for things too. And it really makes a difference. To love thy neighbor, that's what he told us. That's what the Savior said, love your neighbor. When you don't love your neighbor, it becomes chaos and it's evil. You got to make sure that we give a hand lifting up and not to push them down. You got to lift people up. I read, where you can just smile at someone. I smile at people all the time. I may not get a smile back and I may not get a greeting back, but I made the effort. And sometimes some people are not smiling at all and they look like they have the weight of the world on their shoulders, and I give them a compliment to a lady or a man, a gentleman, and they just break out in the prettiest smile, like the most genuine smiles. And they're just tickled to death that someone asked them how they're doing and have a blessed day. They come alive. They're just good people. There's a lot of good people in this world. But then there's a lot of mess here too. I just want before I die, to see our nation back in peace. It was a wonderful world when everybody helped everybody. Very nice world. I'd like to see it come back like that. I live in a state where even though there is division, people do help one another. When we had Hurricane Katrina here that just wiped out our Gulf Coast, I mean, literally looked like a bomb zone. It just was nothing left. Antebellum home and mansion after mansion on the beach, all gone, just wiped off. It's nothing but empty lots now, one after another, empty lots. Those soldiers driving in and waving that American flag. I mean to tell you, it just melts your heart, knowing that you have a nation that actually cares about you. And neighbors helping neighbors. If one went to go get ice, they'd drop some off at your house. Or you'd go stand in line to get gasoline or ice. Or get a hot meal at the Red Cross. People were loving each other. And even Anderson Cooper apologized for the lies that he told about the Superdome. That people were killing each other and raping each other and robbing each other. None of that was going on. None of it. It was a lie. I'm sorry, my screen wasn't moving. You said I'm done. I got muted for support. Toodles yoodles. Yes, feeling it is a very, very sad world. But Anderson Cooper came back on, and it was weeks later. He said, I want to admit that I lied. And it was very black journalism to do something like that. And he says, I can't apologize enough for doing that. They did it for sensationalism. And I'm not saying everybody does it, but at least he apologized and confessed his sin. And I think he's a better person for it. Nothing makes you feel better than to start anew, to begin again. Wipe the slate clean. God does it. God will help you anytime you want. That's what he does. He forgives. Forgiveness is not for the other person, it's for ourselves. I love you all. Be safe. If you go out anywhere, which I'm not, but just be safe. Super Bowl weekend, and people are going to be drinking and driving. It's going to be, and it's not limited to Miami. It's a football. The end, and it's like a blowout. So if you do drink, please call Uber or Lyft, and don't drive your friends, and don't let your friends drive. And if they're at your house, fix a bed for them, pull out your couch, do something for them, but don't let them drive and drink and drive. Our children mean too much to us. Our families mean the world to us. I can't count the times I used to drive my ex around as a designated driver. Oh, whoopee, that's a lot of fun. Yeah, carting him around with his beer and cigarettes. But we were friends. And that's what friends do for friends. I miss him. I know my daughter misses him. And I know y'all have loved ones you miss too. And with that, I'm just going to say, God's peace be with you. Give someone a hug. And when they try to let go of the hug, hold them a little longer. Give them that good hug. And they'll know you care. Good night.